Right, so in this section, we are going to look at graphing linear equations in two variables. So let's do that with y equal to 2x. All right. So we have to graph this equation. So we want to graph it. So we want to create a graph. So first of all, we'll probably make a table. So we'll have x and then a y. And then we come up with some values for x that we'd like to use. I always tell students to do some positive numbers, some negative numbers, and then also include 0 because that's a nice one to put in. So let's say we go with -3, -2, let's go longer here. There's -1, 0, 1, and then 2. Okay. So as I put -3 into the equation for x, -3 times 2 is -6. -2 times 2 is 4, negative. And -1 times 2 is -2. So I can see that it's increasing by 2. So I can see that. So here's what I'm looking at. All right. So now if I create a graph, okay. And so this is the negative side for x. This is the positive side for x. And then up ahead is the positive y. And down here is negative y. So now I plot my first point, -3, -6. So 1, 2, -3. And then -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -6. So I can plot that point. And if you have graph paper, you could plot all these points. But I can see that it's linear because it's only increasing by 2 each time. And that tells me that it's linear because it's increasing by 2. Because -6 to -4 is an increase of 2. -4 to -2 is an increase by 2. So it's all increasing by 2. So I'm going to plot my last point, which is 4, 2. So 1, 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll plot that point. Okay, and now I can connect them really carefully. Not that great. Okay, let's see if I can back it up and try it again. Okay, this is really kind of difficult to do. I've never done a tablet before, and this is the quarter in which I'm doing it. And so if anybody knows of any tips, that would be helpful. Anyway, so here's my line, and so I've now graphed the y equal to 2x. Okay, that's how that's done. So let's do that with another equation. Okay, so let's do the x plus y. Let's try. So x plus y equal to 4. And one of the tricks I learned that someone taught me long ago was you just might want to just do the x and y intercepts, because if you do the x and y intercepts of a linear line, you get your 2 points, and it's really easy to calculate. So an x-intercept, okay, an x-intercept is where y is always 0, and so I'm going to make y 0, and so I'm going to solve that. So if I put 0 in for y, so x plus y equal to 4, if I put in 0, then I know x is 4. And so I have my first point. And it's really, the reason why we do it that way is because it's so simple to calculate an equation when you're putting 0 in. It tends to be the easiest one. And then I'll find what we call the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is where x is always 0. So always. And then for x-intercept, it's always 0 for y. It's 0. So if that's the case, then I can put 0 in for the x. So that means I've got 0 plus y equal to 4. So now I know y is 4. So now I have 0, 4. So I have 2 really easy points to graph. And since I know it's linear, I know that it's going to take on that form, and I don't need any more points. So this is nice to have the x and the y-intercept. So now I'm going to go ahead and graph that. Okay, so I graph these. Again, this is positive x, this is positive y, negative x, and this is negative y. Alright, so now I put it in. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's at 0. And then the other one's at 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have my 2 points, and now I can connect them. And so here's my line. Okay. And so on the homework and quizzes, you're going to have to be able to do that. You plot 2 points, and it'll actually draw the line for you. It's pretty cool. It's kind of a neat feature to play with when you get onto the homework. It's like it does it for you when you do that stuff. But this is typically how you do it when you're dealing with linear lines.